Manitoba Electronic Music Exhibition. Do you think Space Monkeys will ever rule the world?
I think they're already here.
Hello, it's your host Amanda Nichols, and this is PSTP TV. We are at the Cheer Bar and Grill to launch Meme 2013. We are anxiously awaiting 4 days of electronic music featuring local and international artists, complemented by some digital media prepared for us by some very talented individuals. And of course, it would not have the festival atmosphere without the vendors and the street performers. Meme is a 4-day exhibition boasting some of Winnipeg's most amazing venues, including the Winnipeg Art Gallery, the Pantages Playhouse, and of course, the Cube. Meme is also Western Canada's leading exhibition for digital arts and electronic music. The result? It creates a stage for the latest techno, dub, house, and experimental music. It also ties creativity and technology together, engaging Winnipeg's most diverse community. Tonight's lineup features some of Winnipeg's most talented artists, and we have backstage pass, including interviews by 98% Chimp and King Cobra. So stay with us as we give you full access to the performers and get our groove on. You're on Prosper Street. The first interview of the night was with 98% Chimp, a Winnipeg artist who has been involved in the local scene since 1996. We wanted to find out how he got involved with electronic music and ask him a few questions. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Very good, thank you for asking. How do you feel about performing at Meme 2013?
I think it's a great opportunity. Meme's been a great addition to the festival scene in Winnipeg here, and it being my first time here, being able to play at Meme is really good, and it's a good opportunity for me to get out and get a little bit more exposure as to rather than where I'd normally go. So I think it's a good thing all around.
Awesome. So what or who introduced you to electronic culture in 1996?
Well, in 96, that was a couple of friends of mine actually, back when I was in school, were really big into electronic music and more specifically trance, kind of started off with the trance scene, and as I guess everybody was at that time. It was something that was kind of sort of took a second wheel to the other kinds of music that I like, because I do love all kinds of music. So, but it's kind of funny because I think that I've really gotten more involved into electronic music than those friends that introduced me to it back in the day. Now they're probably listening to, Hoobastank or something. I mean, so.
Okay, so then what type of event is your favorite to mix to?
What type of event? I think especially now, considering that I like to play, typical club, underground club music, so deep house, techno, tech house. So those deep, dark, dingy places, whether it's a basement or a really sort of grungy club, is really great. But the occasional club is good too, and heck, even basement parties. I'm bar mitzvahs. I'm pretty good.
Awesome. Do you think Space Monkeys will ever rule the world, and how do you think that'll affect electronic music?
I don't know. Do you think that I think they're already here? You know, it's just a matter of time before they come here, and I for one welcome our Space Monkey overlords actually. But I think there's a little bit of a space monkey in all of us.
So how has it been watching the evolution of music in Winnipeg, especially electronic?
Well, it's I'm a little bit of a latecomer to the scene as opposed to some of the other people that might be here and throughout the rest of the festival. I moved here in 2007 from Ontario, so my perspective of the scene is pretty much from that time on. But even in that time, there's been a lot of movement for good and for bad. Part of the problems I think that Winnipeg has in the electronic music scene is it's so diverse, and that in and of itself is not a bad thing. In fact, it's a great thing. You don't want to have one thing stuck in each little pocket. But the problem with Winnipeg is that because it's so diverse and there's so many different genres being played out, and great music at that. The size of Winnipeg sometimes has a hard time supporting all that. So whereas in a place like Toronto or Vancouver or some of the larger centers, there's usually venues and there's usually nights to support all those little things. So it's been tough to see Winnipeg sort of catch up to that, but I think it's getting to the point, especially with the popularization of electronic music now. Yeah. It's starting to have a bit of a resurgence, I think, and I think that Winnipeg will really benefit from that.
Awesome. So then, out of all the forms of musical expression, why electronic music?
Well, it's to be honest with you, it's easier. I don't want to say, and I want to clarify that because I think there is a popular misconception, especially for both for DJs and for producers, but I think the term for people who aren't really familiar with electronic music so much, they can tend to confuse the two. They're not the same. But there seems to be this notion that all you have to do is press buttons, and it's more than that. I mean, as a musician, and especially as an electronic musician, you're still a musician first, and so I think that for me, I started from a classical music, well, not classical, but traditional music. So I mean, I played guitar. I was in band in high school. I played all the instruments. I actually had almost got a scholarship to Wilfrid Laurier University for music. And then I smartened up and decided that music is probably not the greatest thing to go to university for, or at least to make a career out of. So when the technology came to the point where it was accessible, you didn't need like a rack of modular synths or different hardware to do it, and everything could be done on your computer. That got to the point where it's relatively inexpensive. It's easy to keep in the side of your basement or wherever your studio is, and things just kind of progress from there. And I mean, I liked it too, so it's something that I like doing. It's something I like listening to, and so it was just natural for me to head that way.
Awesome. So what are you currently working on right now?
Right now, I'm just trying to keep from not going crazy. I have a wife and two daughters at home. So there's not a lot of time that I have to be working on my music and out DJing these days, which is great because Meme is a great opportunity for me once again, like I said, to be able to get out get that exposure that I haven't been getting now. I have a couple of original pieces. I actually just played one of my new pieces tonight that I just finished a couple of weeks ago, and I have a couple more in the back burner and probably about 100 more that they'll get done sometime, maybe, eventually, possibly.
Throughout Manitoba's electronic music exhibition, digital artists are featured, such as Toxic Prophecy. We had the opportunity to sit down with her and see what it felt like to be involved with Meme.
came up with Toxic Prophecy in my thesis year at the University of Manitoba. It was my way of describing the situation that our world faces between sustainable resource management and corrupt greed, kind of initiated by the government, and how people are just too blind to see that all their greed and all their use of resources is going to come to a serious halt when oil runs out. So Toxic Prophecy is my way of kind of being a contemporary video shaman. I kind of consider myself to be a shaman between the real world and some spiritual realm that is prophetic in a sense, to kind of describe how we can make changes and kind of look to the environment to kind of maintain ourselves and protect the world and get away from all those sick, evil, manipulative sources of power. Well, I do a lot of video editing in my spare time, and I felt like it'd be really cool to kind of get out there and do some live video mixing to music, because I like working with musicians. So I do a lot of collaborative events with different DJs and local artists, and I just kind of wanted to get involved with that, so yeah. It's pretty interesting. Like, usually I'll go to like different musician shows, so I'll go to different concerts and ask the performers after the show if they're interested in having visuals kind of to accompany their work. So it's either yes or no, and then if it's yes, then we have to see what the next venue looks like, and then I have to build either a set to go in there, or I just take advantage of the space itself. So it really depends on the artist. Usually I just approach people myself and see if they're interested in having visuals. I think it's a new thing, so I feel like lots of people are really excited to catch on and be a part of it. I like to give myself about a month with collecting videos and mixing them and creating a playlist before I go in there, because otherwise I feel like I'm not very prepared. So yeah, about a month. I think it's about the same. As long as I put in 110% of my effort to my projects, I feel like I've done a good job. So usually I put the same amount of effort for every event that I try to do. So yeah, it's usually just a different space, but yeah, having to kind of accommodate my work to the space is the biggest challenge, but I'm learning to kind of overcome that the more I practice, so. Probably Dub FX. Dub FX is a really cool DJ who makes music with his mouth, so he does a lot of beatboxing and stuff like that and lots of looping, so he'd be really cool because he's he does a lot of improv, so yeah. For the most part, I try to slip in subliminal images of industrialization versus organic imagery versus spirituality versus consumerism. I try to make it an all-encompassing kind of face-off between Mother Earth and planet Earth versus our corrupt human culture of kind of consumption and manipulation of resources and people and just terror, and I try to bring it back home to the good, that we can change and we can be better. And it might be a little deep for people to kind of understand in those kind of contexts, in that kind of context, but yeah. It's kind of like political activism, but it's like video activism. Like I don't think I can get thrown in jail for using these videos and kind of sending the message this way. Plus, I don't get a lot of bad reviews from people at the different venues that I've worked. Like Meme, I didn't get any bad reviews. Everything came across as a good experience, and yeah, it's good because I can get my message out there to people, but do people really understand it? That's the bigger question. It's like, is it actually affecting people? Is my work actually, but it makes me feel good as an artist, so self-expression is a good thing. And I think it's almost ironic that I've chosen to be a video artist, especially with my message, just because I am utilizing a lot of technological-based resources and energy and things like that to put on my art, which kind of sucks because I do want to be organic and let it be minimal and not worry about using energy and power and things like that. But Yeah, I think that I'm a very ironic artist in that sense. For the future, I hope to get involved with Meme again next year. I also want to see if I can get involved with Connect, which is the music festival that happens in Saskatchewan. I also want to try to branch out to the Edge Gallery and do another exhibition there. And I also have received an artist mentorship from ACI to work with JMEZ if it moves. We're going to be working on some different projects like Photoshop and After Effects, and we're going to see if we can kind of create some collaborative projects from there. So.
I would never.
Drive drunk.
Go to bed with a monkey
In high school, I would find you.
Lovely.
stuffed in a locker.
My weirdest habit is
I rock my head to sleep.
I like to eat Jello in the dark.
6 times 7 minus 2 is.
Pass.
I'm a drummer. I don't know percussion. I don't know math.
I can't believe I performed with.
Vitamins for you. That was a good act to play with.
Alex Ridley.
Thank you so much for your time. It was a blast.
Awesome. Thanks a lot.
So how are you?
Lovely, lovely.
Perfect. So you're from Toronto, not a Winnipeg native. So why Winnipeg? What keeps you grounded here?
You know what? There's lots of things. I mean the open prairie country. That's one. The beautiful skies, the women, and this music scene. You know what? For such a small city, I mean, this place is where it's at. They either make you or break you in this town. I mean, the community is just lovely, just lovely.
So I really want to talk about your sound. You train on a variety of instruments, involved in a number of bands with a love of percussion. So why electronic music?
You know what? It's actually kind of funny. I've played in bands since I was about 16 years old, doing anything from like funk to jazz to rock and roll. To be honest, I was tired of playing and not going anywhere, juggling one band to the next, and so I kind of wanted to sit and do something for myself and say, hey, if I create music and if I flop, I'm the only one who made that mistake. And just going to local like venues around the city, seeing some of the dance music that's coming out, I figured, hey, you know what? I can probably pull off some of that stuff. I've got some rhythm in the heart, and yeah, about 5 years ago I started doing that, and here I am today.
So do most electronic shows lack stage presence, and why?
You know what? It's 50-50 in this town. It depends on set times. It depends on the hype. To be honest, I mean, I love Winnipeggers. They're beautiful people, but they're a little bit cheap too. And if if the venue is too costly, they won't go, no matter how good the music is. But I mean, this town's still good. If they love you, they'll show up. They'll dance if they want to.
Why do you appreciate costumes?
You know, it's funny you said that because I didn't wear a costume today. But when I first started out, most of the acts that I was following, or even some of the acts that I opened up for, were in full like costume performance. And so I figured, I mean, I hate to say it, but I jumped on the bandwagon of the trendiness and decided that a costume is where it's at. And being with a name with King Cobra, it was close to Cobra Commander, G.I. Joe. You almost want to put on the outfit anyway.
That's awesome. So how does dressing up reflect the earlier scene in Winnipeg?
Again, it's hit and miss. People love like the sound. You can do as much jazz hands as you want to promote your music, but I mean, in the end, it's the sound. It doesn't matter if you put on a costume or not. The sound should sell itself.
Electronic music and hula hoops? Here at Manitoba's Electronic Music Exhibition, hula hoopers litter the field. We wanted to investigate this relationship, so we asked Dark Hoop owner Kazi. Dark Hoop. How are you today, Kazi?
I'm well, how are you?
Very good, thank you for asking. I just want you to explain the relationship between electronic music and hula hooping.
The relationship between electronic music and hula hooping would be, for electronic music, it's a lot faster. And I know a lot of people, especially when spinning with hula hoops, they like the fast pace of the music because it's easier to hula hoop with. As well as there is hula hoops that you can purchase that have LEDs in them, which work fantastic for the lighting and the atmosphere and everything as well.
Awesome. So how long have you been hooping for?
This is going to be my 5th year now. I got started off in a park with my friends at a bunch of years ago, and ever since then I've really enjoyed it. It's a fantastic workout. It's amazing for the core as well. So you can learn a lot from it and from other people too. And I mean, it's just fun to look at. It's really neat getting out there and watching a crowd's face when they're just like, wow, I've never seen that before.
That's awesome. And so this is your 4th year here at MEME with your Dark Hoops.
Yeah.
How has your experience with the Manitoba Music Exhibition been?
Honestly, it's been fantastic. For the atmosphere is amazing. The people are amazing as well. The owner, Nathan, is actually a fantastic person to work with. He's very good at promoting this whole thing. So.
On the first night of MEME, the launch parties were held at the Cheer Bar and Grill and Union Sound Hall. Amy Simoes was on location and caught all the action Union Sound Hall had to offer. Let's check it out. Manitoba's electronic music exhibition has begun with an electrical shockwave that sent ripples through the crowd and chills down my spine. And it doesn't stop there. With 3 more days, 4 more venues, and tons of performances, I'm Amanda Nichols with PSTP TV. Stay with us on Prosper Street.